Pretend I'm ready to go too. All right, so we're back to arithmetic stuff, okay, which is what we did the first day we started talking about sequences. We talked about explicit and recursive forms, but today we're also going to do series. Does anybody remember what that meant from yesterday? Yeah. Oh, a series means you're going to add up the terms, okay? So if you had like 1 and then they added 4, so you got 5, 9, 13, okay? That would be the sequence. The series for that would look like 1 plus 5 plus 9 plus 13. And then they might ask us to find like the sum of the first 8 terms or something crazy. That's what we're doing today, okay? And it looks to me like the notes are just a lot of examples using these formulas. We need to know this vocabulary. Arithmetic means between terms of an arithmetic sequence. That's all it means, is missing terms of an arithmetic sequence, okay? I can find the sum of an arithmetic sequence, and they're going to give us different things. And then it says application problems. All right. So does this look familiar to everybody? The nth term, remember this is called explicit, and it is on your reference sheet. We, I think, wrote it like this when we talked about it the first day. It looks to me like the book puts the D at the back, which doesn't matter. Are we good? Okay. What does the D stand for again? Yes, it's the common difference. N is the term number. A sub 1 is the first term. A sub n then is, you know, if n is 6, then it would be a sub 6 or the 6th term that we're finding. We good? All right. So you have this on your notes as well. This is new vocabulary though right here. And arithmetic means are terms between two non-consecutive terms in an arithmetic sequence. So it's missing terms. So this one isn't about an arithmetic mean. It just says find the 38th term. So how do you want to do that? Anybody get back in the swing of what we were doing last Thursday? Explicit formula, absolutely. Okay, a sub 38 equals -7 plus the difference is +2, yes, okay. 38 minus 1 or 37. So -7 plus 2, 37 times 74 minus 7, 67. Anybody? Okay. Nice job. Everybody remembering now? This is worksheet 6, Kevin?
Yeah. Oh, never mind. I looked at it.
That's when it's geometric. Yep. Good question. All right. So we're back to the arithmetic mean thing. It says if two non-consecutive terms are known, the terms in between them can be calculated, and they're called arithmetic means. Guess what? When we have missing terms in a geometric sequence, they're going to be called geometric means, okay? Just means missing terms. So the arithmetic means between 7 and 47 were these 3 missing terms, okay? And I'll just do a different example since they gave us those answers. So we have an arithmetic sequence that has 3 arithmetic means between 3.2 and 4.4. So we have to think about what happened. I'm usually really lazy and I just go, let's see, they added 1, 2, 3, 4 differences to get to that one. Does that make sense? So 3.2 plus 4 differences is 4.4. It's always one more than the number of blanks because they got to the next term. They didn't stop with the blanks. So if we subtract, we're just doing algebra skills now. 0.35? No?
4.4
Oh yeah, because I can't subtract. Thank you. So then it's just 0.3. All right, so apparently it says find D. Then if we went back and filled those terms in, and it's always, they're usually going to ask for the missing terms, not just what D is. But this is kind of self-checking, right? Because if we do it right, we should get to 4.4. So if we add 0.3, we'd have 3.5. We add 0.3, we'd have 3.8. Add 0.3, we'd have 4.1. Add 0.3, we'd have 4.4. We good? So it should be self-checking as long as we're remembering arithmetic means we're adding. All right, more practice. Find the first term of an arithmetic sequence for which the 15th term is 30 and the difference is 1.4. So you did some of this on the worksheet last week, but I'm thinking we need this formula. What do we know? Okay. Okay, we're talking about the 15th term. And it would say over here the 15th term. So the 15th term is 30. So I'm going to say that in the way that makes sense in my head. Okay. The first term had 29, had 14, just kidding. The first term had 14 differences added to it and became 30. Does that make sense? The first term plus 14 differences equals the 15th term. So the first term plus the difference 14 times gave us this term. All right, so if we do the math, we have 30 equals a sub 1. This would be 14 times 1.4. 19.6? That's probably total. Is that right? So if we subtract, we get 10.4. Any questions? We found the first term. We're genius. Okay, Von? 30 minus 19.6, because I'm just solving that equation. You good? Need a banana? You're not catching too fast here today. All right. Find D in the arithmetic sequence for which the first term is 6 and the 40th term is 142.5. I know we did this kind on the worksheets. Okay. How many differences did they add?
30.
Yeah. So 6 plus 39 differences became 142.5. Or you could write out the whole thing. The 40th term equals the first term plus the difference, 40 minus 1 times. So then you'd put in 142.5, 6, and this would become 39. Same process. 39D equals 136.5. Did I do that right? And yeah, I don't know what that is. 10.5 divided by, yep, no idea. 3 point something? 4? What is it? Thank you. So if we were crazy and we wanted to check, we could start with 6 and start adding 3.5 and see if we got to 142.5 on the 40th term. We learned yesterday, I suppose we could put the formula in the calculator and scroll down and see if that's the 40th term, but I think we're safe. All right, number 3. Uh-oh, what does this mean? We don't know what term it is. So if I write this out, what can you fill in? Okay, a sub n is 27. Negative 12 plus 3 and minus 1 times. Now, can I add these together and get negative 9?
No.
Only if you want to fail pre-calc, right? We could distribute, or we could just do order of operations backwards. What do you want to do? Distribute? Is that what most of you would do? I don't want to make it confusing. 3n minus 3. If we combine like terms over here, we have negative 15 plus 3n. We add 15, we're at 42. I got 14. I don't know if that works. Negative 12 plus 3 14s should be 27. What did I do wrong? Oh, this should be 13. Because it's n minus 1, 39, and then it is 27. Okay, it's checking. I was just trying to check it, and I forgot to subtract the 1. So if you were checking it, you would say the first term had 3 added to it 13 times, because it's 14 minus 1, and that should be 27, and that works. All right. Finally, an arithmetic mean question. Write an arithmetic sequence that has 3 means between 17 and 39. So what does that mean? What are we going to do? Yes, and there's 3 of them, okay? They won't always say 3. They could say 2 or 1 or 5. So there's 3 terms missing in between there. So our goal is to find those so we can write the whole sequence. So what do you want to say? How many differences did they add? So 1, 2, 3, 4 differences were added. And it became 39. Algebra 1 skills, subtract, divide, and what do we get? It's not nice, is it? I thought it was for a minute, but okay. So what are the missing terms? 17 plus 5.5. Okay, plus another 5.5. Plus another 5.5. Plus 5 would be 38, and another half would be 39. Is it working? This question is kind of weird. I think on the quiz, I just said find the 3 terms, but it actually says write the sequence. So I suppose that whole thing is the answer. I'm not too worried about it. We good? Number 5. Oh my goodness, 7 terms are missing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 missing, right? And then 16. Okay. Now what? Is it 70? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Became 16. So if I add 2, I get 18 divided by 8. Is it 4.5, guys? Oh my goodness. It would be 18 divided by, be 9 divided by 4, not 9 divided by 2. So 2.25. And you could leave it fractions if you want, but it's exact decimal, so it'll work. So negative 2 plus 2.25 would just be 0.25. Plus 2.25 would be 2.5 plus 2.25 would be, yeah, I don't know where I got 7. 4.75, 6, 7, 9.25, 11.5, 13.75, and then 14, 15, 16. Yes, it's working. I do hereby solemnly swear I will not make you fill in 7 on the quiz, okay? That's a lot. All right. Now we are moving on to a new formula. We're going to talk about the sum of a finite arithmetic sequence. Finite just means we can add up through a certain number of terms, whether you tell me it's 10 terms, 5 terms, 17 terms, whatever. Now, I love this formula because it makes sense to me. If I asked you to add up the numbers from 1 to 100, how fast could you do it? Mm-hmm. Anybody know the trick? Okay, what's 1 plus 100?
101.
What's 2 plus 99? What's 3 plus 98? How many of those are there going to be? That's multiplication. Okay. Yep, the factorial is if you had to multiply 1 times 2 times 3 times 4. So there's 101 50 times, which is what? Okay, so this is what the formula says, guys. The formula says you take the first term plus the last term, and then you multiply by the number of terms divided by 2. Is that what we did? We said the first term and the last term will always add up to the same as all the other ones in here, and then the number of terms divided by 2. Okay, so it's this formula, and this, the book had 2 formulas in it, but you don't need the second formula as long as you know the formula to find a missing term. So we did not give you this on the quiz, so don't practice using that formula. And the peach sheet, it just has this one, okay? It says all infinite arithmetic sequences diverge unless D is 0. So you can't find a partial sum because they would just keep getting bigger and bigger. Or you can only find a partial sum. All right, arithmetic series means you're adding, blah, blah, blah. We just did this. Okay, so find the sum of the first 50 terms. What's wrong with this one? We're already in trouble. Okay, guys, stop with the crazy typing. Why are we in trouble here? Our formula says to find the sum of the first 50 terms, we would need the first term and the 50th term, and we'd multiply by the number of terms over 2. I don't think we are in trouble. I was thinking we didn't know what the last term was, or how many terms it was, but they told us it's 50 terms, right? So I think we can go with, this is the first term, second term, third term, and this is the 50th term. This is weird. I would never ask this question on a quiz. All right, so the first term is 11. The last term is 158. And according to this, there's 50 terms in here. So this would be 169 times 25, or you could have just typed it in. I got 4225. Did anyone else get that? Okay. What I was thinking was wrong was I wasn't sure this was the last term. So I just gonna double check that for my own self. What are we going up by here? So if we wanted the 50th term, we'd do 49 times, right? 11 plus 3 times 49 is 158, so that is the 50th term. So they gave us everything we needed. It was just a weird question in my mind. Because most of the time they'll do this. They're not going to tell us the first and last term and how many terms. We talked about this vocabulary yesterday. Do you remember? It's because it has the dot, dot, dot here. This 23rd partial sum means simply the sum of the first 23 terms, okay? Don't let that vocabulary mess you up. All right, but do we know the first and last term?
No.
How are we going to find the last term? Okay, so we need to find the 23rd term. So how are you going to do that? Which is 173.
Right.
Minus 11 is the difference. And to find the 23rd term, we would do it 23 minus 1 or 22 times. $173 minus 11 times 22, negative 69. Anybody get? Now what? That's the 23rd term. Does anybody remember how the sum formula goes? I tried to give it to you as a concept. Which is 173. Yeah, so the first term and the last term. So the first term and the 23rd term times 23 divided by 2. Okay? So 173 plus, what did we decide the 23rd term was? Negative 69, all times 23 divided by 2. 173 minus 69 is 104 times 23 divided by 2. It's 1196. Anybody having trouble with the typing part just because you got to either use the parentheses or hit enter and then multiply and divide? Everybody good? I'm a little nervous that some of you aren't doing this with us. Okay, find the 82nd partial sum. So what do I want here? Sum of the first. Okay, but what does this mean? Sum of the first how many terms? 82. So n is going to be 82, right? But I know the first term is negative 1. I'm missing that 82nd term. So how are we going to find it? Term 82 would be found by taking the first term and adding the difference, 82 minus 1, or 81 times. So negative 1 plus, what's the difference? Oh yeah, negative 3. 82 minus 1 would be 81 times. Negative 244, maybe? Someone check me. Okay, so now we can find the sum. Add the first and last term, be negative 245. Number of terms divided by 2. Negative 10,045, anybody?
Oh, I got it.
These aren't super hard, but there's a lot of, when you look at the formula, if you're not practicing, when you look at the formula, there's a whole bunch of letters and numbers in there, right? It's kind of crazy. You got to practice a little. Find the sum of the first 25 terms. Well, I am assuming this is the 25th term. What are we adding here? Wait a minute, but the sequence itself was adding 3. So if we added 3 24 times, that would be 72 plus 7 is 79. Yeah. So this is the 25th term, and this is the first term. So this is one of those super easy ones. The sum of 25 terms, what are you going to add? 7 and 79, and then you're going to multiply by 25 divided by 2. I got 1075. Anybody else? Okay, if you're not typing, we need to figure out, or you're not getting those answers, we need to figure out what you're typing wrong. We good? All right, find the 53rd partial sum. What are we missing? 53rd term. Can we figure it out? As long as we know it's arithmetic, it's the first term plus, what's the difference? 8. To find the 53rd term, we do that 52 times. So 12 plus 8 times 52. I got the 53rd term. Anybody? Okay, now what? So the sum of 53 terms would be? Anybody get 11,600? Mackenzie, you good? Okay. All right. Oh my. Do you remember doing this from yesterday? Can anybody refresh my memory? I just want to do one using some sequence. Do you remember where those buttons were? No, I'm talking about not the notation. It's second stat, an arrow to the right twice for the first one, and then second stat, arrow to the right once for the second one, I think. Because they're supposed to be arrows. I just wanted to remind you where this was, because if you happen to be doing your homework with an older calculator, you can't use the summation notation. It's second stat, arrow to the right twice for sum. Then it's second stat, arrow to the right once for sequence. Then you put the formula in. I don't remember what it was. What is it, guys? Give us n. 3n plus 1. And you can use any variable. If you're not in sequence mode, you can use x. It'll still work. And then what is the variable you're using? And this one does not start with 1. What do they want? Terms 3 through 15, right? So you're going to put in 3n plus 1, comma n, comma 3, comma 15. Or yes, you can use the sequence summation symbol. What was it, 3 through 15? So it should look like this on your screen. And you get 364. Or the summation symbol, it was term 3 through 15. for the formula 3n plus 1. Same answer. We good? What was the answer again? 364? Yes. Number 10? Ooh. This says we should use a formula. You could do it on your calculator, it's fine. But let's think about this for a second. What's the first term? You put a 1 in and you get out 2. If you put a 2 in, you get out
4.
Put a 3 in. Okay. What's the 42nd term? You just have to put it in there. So the 42nd term is 84. So if we wanted to do it like we were doing earlier, the first term plus the last term, how many terms were we adding up? 42 divided by 2. You can use the summation symbol on your calculator. I'm not going to stop you. But I got 86 times 21. 1806. Anybody do it the other way and get 1806? Or did I do something wrong? Nobody? 1806? Okay, on the calculator, it's under math. If you want to use the summation symbol. And it was 1 through 42. Is that right, guys? And the formula was 2n. 1806. Number 11, finally an application problem. Okay. Wakefield Auditorium has 26 rows. The first row has 22 seats, and the next row has 20, what? Increases by 4, so it would be 26 seats. And then 30. Do you get why an auditorium would have more seats maybe as it goes up? Okay. There are 26 rows, so how do we find how many seats in the last row? Yes, term 26. So 22 plus what?
Plus 1.
And how many times? 26 minus 1 or 25 times? I'm thinking that's 122. Okay. Now, what is the capacity? What does that mean? Yeah, it's a total. So the sum of the 26 rows, right? First row had, last row had, and we're multiplying how many total, or adding up how many terms in total? 26 divided by 2, so 13 times 144. 1872, anybody? Well, I was alive in 1972, but not 1872. I was looking good for 1872, right? All right. Number 12, first year of an employee's salary. So this is term 1. Each year thereafter, her salary increases by $750. So there's our D. What will she make during her 10th year of work? So that would be the 10th term, right? Yeah, we're good. So 34,500 plus what? Okay. 10 minus 1 or 9 raises. That makes sense, guys? She only would have gotten 9 raises. So 9 times 750 plus 34,500. Her 10th year, I got 41,250. Anybody else? What is her total earnings for 25 years? What do we need to find? Yeah, 25th term would be the first plus 750, 25 minus 1 or 24 times. What's she making year 25? Anybody have it? Is that our answer? Because they wanted total earnings, so we want the sum of those 25 years. So year 1 plus year 25 times 25 divided by 2. Anybody get 108,700? So she made $1 million. Well, it took her 25 years and she may have had to spend some of it to survive, right? All right. That's it. So the bookwork is all on 5.5b and it's all circled. I don't think that clock is right, by the way. It's about 5 after 10, but you should still be able to get a good start on the bookwork, okay?